welcome back to another episode of Styles After Dark. My name is Sophia, and if you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the crib. Kidding. um, this is a podcast where I want people to feel seen and heard, and where I just talk about weekly, monthly, and daily things. And all are welcomed, all are accepted. So let's get started. I am 25. Yes, if you clicked on this video, it is probably apparent that I am 25 years old now. My frontal lobe is developed. This is the age I've been waiting for, the age I've been waiting to reach to see if the talk was real. Is it true? Does your frontal lobe fully develop? Yes, I believe for like maybe 70% of us, it does. Today, we're going to be talking about what I've learned as a 25-year-old so far, some things I've realized over my 25 years on this life, over a quarter of my life. And I think over the past year, it truly has started to click, aka your frontal lobe. And I can't wait to talk about it. So before we get started, let's hop into the drink of the week. Today's drink of the week is going to be Olipop. We're on the Olipop wave still, and it is crisp apple. I love me some crispy apple. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now, okay? Some crisp apple. And like the color was giving, okay? The color was giving sunshine and rainbows and apples. So apple bottom bees, boots with the fur, with the fur. I don't even know if that's the right song. Zooey mama. That was delicious. It definitely was giving crispy. I'll tell y'all that. It's time to get serious. When are we ever serious on this podcast? Kidding. We can be serious. We can be grounded. I'm going to list 13 things that I wrote down that it's just started to click every day and every year, especially this year. I feel more confident in myself. I feel more confident in like my decisions and not putting up with things, not putting up with people, not putting up with just things that aren't worth my energy and my time, and focusing on things that are important in life and focusing on the good things, the positive things. And some may call that selfish. And we're going to get into that. One of the biggest things that I have realized is self-love is so important. And when you have self-love, you win at life. You win at happiness. You win at peace with yourself a little more. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but your relationships thrive. And if you can take care of yourself, if you can love yourself, a lot of other things just start to fall into place. And so, really make sure that you take care of you and you prioritize you and you love you. And if you're not there, I wasn't either at one point in my life. So, start that journey, and so many things will start to change. You'll lose people, you'll find people, but it's a definitely a journey, but you have to keep going. You have to pour into yourself. Number 2, a lot of people aren't going to like this one. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a big part of finding true happiness and growing in life. And a lot of people, it's hard for them to do that, and it's hard for them to grasp how you can forgive someone who's done you dirty or forgive someone who's giving you trauma. And let me tell ya, it is possible. And I have done it, and I've done it for many people in my life, many people who have hurt me, many things I have gone through. You kind of have to pick your pain. You can go through this life with anger, and I used to say it wasn't anger, there was situations where my family would be like, "Oh, you know, you're clearly still angry or you're still mad." And I'd be like, "No, I'm not mad. I just don't care to have this person in my life. I just don't care to forgive this person. I don't care about them. But that mentality was also draining. And it was like, whenever I thought about a person or a thing that hurt me, it still had the ability to annoy me. And that isn't forgiveness. When you forgive, I always say it takes time, consistently choosing to slowly let go of that burden in your heart or in your mind. 3, boundaries are important for everything in your life when it comes to work, when it comes to friends, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to yourself, your limits that you have, and setting boundaries for yourself. And sometimes I still have trouble with this one. I used to get triggered when someone would lay a boundary because I would think they're weird or selfish or like too much, or I just kind of judged them. But now it's like, no, people are allowed to set boundaries. People are allowed to let you know when something doesn't roll right with them or something doesn't make them feel good. And it's up to you if you want to deal with that, but also be someone who isn't afraid to set a boundary for your mental health, your physical self, your overall well being. And sometimes we have to do that with the most important people. And sometimes it's really hard because those people can be family, but we still have to set those boundaries. Number 4, another unpopular opinion. Be okay with saying I'm sorry first and being the bigger person. Not everything needs a reaction. Sometimes we think we're right, but sometimes it's just better to say I'm sorry and give yourself a breather and just let it go. Be the one that chooses the peace, be the one that chooses to move forward. And it might not feel the best in the moment. It might not feel like you're the one winning in the moment, but in the long run, you are. And I always say, like, if I say I'm sorry first, if I choose to be the bigger person, what can anyone say about you? Truly. Like, oh, well, they said I'm sorry first. They're horrible. Oh, they chose, like, you can't hate on someone being the bigger person. And most people, if they go and talk about the situation, are going to be like, oh, wow, like, they were kind of mature. They were the bigger person. And you can sleep at night knowing that you chose the high road. Like, I know some people are gonna be like, nah, they gonna hear from me. I don't care. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect me like that. Ain't nobody gonna do this, that. I'm gonna let somebody know when the disrespect happens, blah, 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 this stuff. I don't know. There's just something so elegant and mature and beautiful and respectable about someone being the bigger person. And choose your cup of tea, choose your poison, if you will. I'ma always choose to be the bigger person. Always. Sometimes you are wrong. And the reason I say that is because I don't like being wrong. I hate when I'm wrong, and it's a hard pill to swallow. 5, don't entertain gossip and just walk away. This one used to be so hard for me because it was really hard to have someone talk bad about someone for some reason and like not add on to it, even if I didn't agree or I really liked the person that they were talking about. It was just really hard because it's uncomfortable. Someone's putting you in that position where they're talking about someone that you'd like, but now they're gossiping, and it's like, how do I, like, as a former people pleaser, how do I not entertain this? But it's okay. It's not rude. It's not stuck up. It's not mean for you to just tell someone like, "Oh, yeah, like, I really like them, but like I totally understand how you feel." It's really not that big of a deal. And if you're anything like me, like I felt like saying that was just always so difficult. Like it just gave me anxiety to say something so simple like that. So, if you don't want to be a part of gossip, or if you feel like you entertain it, don't. It's better to just let people say what they want to say and don't feed into it. 6, family is one of the most important and sacred things in this life. And sometimes if we don't have that, um, we have to make it our own, and we have to do sometimes we have to be the person who makes the family family again. There's a lot of broken families. There's people who weren't born with much family. There's people who grew up with not the best role models, whatever that looks like. And what I have to say to that is that you can always make your own family, or you can always be the person in the family to make a difference. And I've had to do that. Family is just so important. And when you start creating that for yourself or prioritizing it, it's a whole other level of fulfillment. And now I just hang out with my brother and my mom, and they're like my family's just like my some of my best friends, and I cherish that more than anything in this world. 7. Some people will never like you, sometimes for no reason. So stop focusing on them and just focus on who does. I know it's so hard. You will never be perfect for everyone. You just won't. I used to be someone who wanted everyone to like me and really needed to understand why someone wouldn't. Especially if like there was nothing on this earth that I did. Sometimes people just don't like you because they don't like you. You're not their cup of tea. And that's okay, because let them be bitter. Let them be bitter. Let them I stand by this. I've never looked at someone and was just like, I don't like them for no reason. I don't understand why that's a thing. I don't understand why people do that. Like, if I don't like someone, it's for a reason. And I feel like when people truly don't like you for no reason, it's just like it's a reflection of them and who they are. And I know a lot of people always say this, you're not the problem, they are. So don't focus on those kinds of people, and focus on the one friend that you might have that thinks you're so amazing and special. Just keep being true to yourself. Don't change yourself for anyone, and be who you are. And don't try and get people to like you. No, that's not it. That's not good. Okay, this one's kind of funny. And I think it's because I'm a pretty social butterfly, and I've met a lot of people, not only through being a hairstylist and having clients in my chair, but also people who I've met through like clubs, running clubs. I went to a book club once. Just meeting people at places, putting myself out there, different jobs. I've come to conclusion that the nerds in high school were actually the coolest people. And not sitting here saying like I called people nerds in high school. I don't even think I've ever like described someone with that term, unless it was like my boyfriend or something. They were the people in high school with real interest and real hobbies, and everyone else was just like having hobbies of like hanging out with their friends and partying and drinking alcohol in high school, or just like gossiping and like having sleepovers. And then the nerds were like the people who went to the park after school and like, I don't know, did something, I don't know, like hung out with their friends and like skateboarded, or learning an instrument in high school, or like theater. People who went to like after school clubs and had those interests. Those were the people that just didn't revolve their life around like friends in high school. And that's the normal thing to do. That's the typical thing to do at that age, is you care so much about your friends. All you want to do is like do what the cool kids are doing. And I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just saying like in a general sense in high school, that's like what the thing is. But looking back, and I say this because my little brother, I would classify him as a quote unquote nerd. And I love that guy. I love that brother of mine because he just has so many interests, and he's so cool, and he does so many different things. But I know that he would be classified under that. And not to throw my brother under the bus, because he's such an OG, cool, awesome dude. I think he's called himself that, which is why I'm saying that. But I don't know. I've learned that was that nerds were actually the cool ones, okay? And now I'm dating one. So, thank you. Number 9, be selfish, okay? Be selfish. There's different kinds of selfish. I definitely think there's a time or a place to be selfish. I think when it comes to your mental health, it's definitely important to isolate when needed. I think when anything's affecting your mental health or your physical health, there needs to be some boundaries and there needs to be selfishness. Or, if it's a relationship or a friendship, you need to be selfish if someone is draining you, if someone is taking away from you, and or sometimes just like if you feel like you haven't been putting yourself first, it's okay to put yourself first. Um, but again, I say that very lightly because I do think that sometimes people can be a little too selfish and there's a time and a place. Okay? Okay. Number 10, cut friends off that make you question anything, whether that's the friendship, yourself, or what you do. Save yourself the headache and keep your peace. I can't tell you how many friendships I've had to question, how many friendships I've had to question myself if I was a good person because of the weird energy that just some people have. And when I was younger, I feel like I would blame myself, but as I get older and I'm just confident in who I am and what kind of person I truly am, and the people around me know who I am, the people around me know that I'm a good person, that's what truly matters. And if you are in a friendship, or if you're having a friend that just drains you or gives you hater vibes or gives you any sort of weird energy, please cut it off. You're probably right. You probably have a good feeling, and don't ignore that gut feeling. I can tell you right now, the friends that I've had in my life for forever, have we gotten into disagreements or arguments throughout our 10 plus year friendship? Yes. But have I ever had to truly question, like whether they like me or not? No. And I think when that's the case, it's time to let go. 12, prioritize God, baby. Everyone's relationship with God is different, and no one can tell you about that relationship. But what I can tell you is that when you prioritize God, you're always going to be led the right direction and the right path in life, and things will just fall into place. But you just have to have faith, you just have to trust in Him and pray, and the rest will follow. 13, don't do anything you don't want to do. You guys, I kind of messed up. I don't even think it's 13. I think it's 12. I'm so sorry. I do not have 13 things to say. I have 12. This is so Sophia coded of me. Okay, we're moving forward. We're moving forward. 12. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Be you and stay true to yourself. Be yourself at all times. Do not pretend to like something for someone else. Do not wear something because that girl's wearing it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for trying new things and being inspired and figuring out what your style is, who you are. But at the end of the day, don't try to be someone you're not. And the right people will like you for you, and the right person, if we're talking relationships, will like you for you. Yeah, I feel like growing up, I really try to be someone I wasn't, and I try to put myself in different categories to fit in or to stay with someone or to be in a certain lifestyle. But no. But no, I am my truest self, and I have people who accept and love me for me. And it's the best feeling when you just get to authentically be yourself and not have to walk around eggshells or question if the people around you love you for you and accept you as you are. So you'll attract who you are if you're true to yourself, and you'll bring those people that are meant to be in your life. That wraps up this week's video. My frontal lobe is developed. I'm so excited for 2025. I'm so excited to bring you guys my confidence, my knowledge. I just have so much confidence to like do this podcast and be my truest self and talk about the things I want to talk about, because it's okay if others don't agree with me. It's okay if people don't agree or like me. Like I always say, be you. Yeah. If you guys want to follow me on all my socials, it'll be linked down below. Remember to like this podcast, like this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys on the very next Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.